There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off. Right in front. Another chance. Backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air to Hall of Fame career. 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
2nd and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Welcome to our live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in the Municipal Building in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching our show only on Comcast 21 in Bethel Park. I ran into a lady coming from the library out there, Mrs. Fox. I told her we're on Comcast 21, so hello to you, Mrs. Fox. She said she had a sweater on and it got a little chilly out.
Your haircut looks good.
I didn't get to that yet. You must have saw it on Facebook with 80 of my other friends. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh, and the greater Pittsburgh area. We appreciate you. We're live on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. I appreciate the interactions with you. We got a few people watching. I'll shout that out in a minute. And we also are live on Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. We're at 169, I think.
Yep.
And we're moving up slowly. Please, just one person subscribe to Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. We're trying to get to 1,000. We may have some promotional giveaways down the road, but you know, we want some of the 7,000 people on Facebook, Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook. If you can transition with a like and a subscribe, all 914 shows, I think, are on there. So check that out. And we appreciate all of you on the Facebook. And I did get my hair cut at Zazu by Abilio. Thank you very much. I needed to tighten it up a little. Chip even said on Facebook it looked nice. He's one of my co-hosts, and I don't know, what do you call about busting chops? He calls me Einstein, and he knows it's a compliment because how many people get to emulate Einstein?
Wow.
So I'm happy with that. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Nick VIP Callis. Mike Ragin' Rhodey is back with us every other week. He's here, or we'll see when he can fill in if there's something coming up.
I have nothing to do, ever.
Whoa. Well, he does have a full-time job. We won't mention it's at FedEx, but we'll move on. We're going to do our promos in 10 seconds.
Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, presents Coliseum Combat Zone Pro and Amateur Fights at the All-American Fieldhouse in Monroeville on Saturday, June 29th. Contact Al Levine if you'd like to participate in these fights or if you'd like to receive spectator tickets. A donation to the National Kidney Foundation will be made at all Coliseum Combat Zone events.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization.
The Pittsburgh Police present Biscuits Bingo on Saturday, April 6th at Salvador's Event Center. Doors open at 10 a.m. The $60 ticket includes a pasta buffet that opens at 11:30, then 16 regular games and 4 special bingo games, which all begin at 12:30. Bring a pet food item to donate and qualify to play a special bingo game. Use the link below to purchase tickets. Proceeds benefit all these pet-focused organizations.
The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
Back
Kid
days.
can move. All right, we back?
Yeah.
You give us the go. All right. All right. I got a couple more promos to do that I just got this past week, and they're pretty good. First, Paul Haley's watching on FB Live in Warm SC. Ann Harder said, yes, Mike. Paul Haley, olive oil steak hoagie looks delicious in the promo. Ask Smoking Jim how it tastes unless it's gone already. Paul, I got to do a little disclaimer. He eats pizza mostly during everybody else's conversation. He takes whatever's left, plus the delicious, it was extra fresh steak. Frankie, the young son, said it just came in today, so enjoy. It was magnifique. You got it from the Taco machine, Paul. Chuck McElroy, Paul Haley, 2 other people watching. Mario Tempest is watching. Hello, gentlemen, he said. And he's recovering from a triple bypass. He can't compete with Smoking Jim. He had a quadruple bypass, thought he had a triple bypass, was in the hospital for a week. They took 50 pounds of fluid out. He thought he had pneumonia.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry. That's my best friend. All right, we're going to go to some promos. Now, this may shock you a little bit, but here's what we have: a drive to help women, and we're looking at donations during Women's History Month. Smoking Jim, it's from March 1st to the 31st. You've never talked about it, so I'm going to start it out with a bomb here. Christine McIntosh with the library, the head librarian, great librarian. I'm a trustee on the board with her. She asked if I would promote this. I said I'd be honored. Grew up with 3 sisters, a mother, have an ex-wife, have a great daughter, and I say women are the stronger sex to all my sports guys. You couldn't handle 1 month with what they go through. All right. Period poverty is real. Period equity should be real too. Menstruating is a basic fact of human existence. I never saw this before, so I'm reading it as I go. Menstrual hygiene products are necessities, not luxuries, and should be treated as such. Unfortunately, food stamps and subsidies under the WIC program, I know about that, WIC capital, Women, Infants, and Children. Smoking Jim doesn't know about it with his 200 godchildren. Program that help with groceries do not cover menstrual products. During the month of March, Women's History Month, the library is collecting feminine hygiene products to be donated to SHIM. That's the South Hills Ministry across the street from Reginald's Coffee. The library is collecting feminine hygiene. Yeah, I just said that. There's a collection box near the front desk. Help us make a dent in the period poverty issue. And I have one story. I always got stories. I was a stock boy. I shared this with the librarian. I'm a trustee on the board with the library. And I shared this story. I said, I got a great story. 1971, I started working at Ralph's Discount. They had everything from National Record Mart there to records, cigarettes, tampons, you name it. It was their appliances. And I'm stocking tampons in the women's section. I had longer hair. And the ladies would go to me, sir, could you recommend any tampons to us? I didn't laugh because I had 3 sisters and a mother. I'm only 15 years old, and I've always been quick. Smoking Jim will tell you how quick I am.
Sir.
He said, nobody's quicker. So I go, ma'am, I don't really know much about them. I'm just stocking them on the shelf, and I got 5-row high shelves, everything going in there. And I go, my sisters use this one, my mother used that one. That's all I know. They go, thank you, sir. So, to women's menstrual health. All right, next we have designer bag bingo. We got Chance, the rookie of the month. We'll see if he got that. Give me the thumbs up, Chance. All right, let's go to this. Designer bag bingo is April 14th. And you can see it, so I got to read it and explain. We'll have a talk over. Nick VIP Callis has the honor. He'll be doing the speech over on this. Voiceover, sorry. Designer bag bingo. By the way, I sell 50/50s there, and I've sold a winner each year that I've been there.
Wow.
Now, it features designs of Coach, Michael Kors, Vera Bradley, Kate Spade, and more. Now, they're all designers. They're not just random names that Smokin' Jim gave me. Sunday, April 14th. Doors open at 1:30. BP Community Center, 5151 Park Avenue. You can't miss it there. It's a great building. $25 per person includes 10-game bingo packet, 3 cards per game, 1 door prize ticket, light snacks, and BYOB. Smokin' Jim, that means bring your own bottle of ginger ale. Additional bingo cards, 50/50 and basket raffle available for purchase. They have 30, 40 basket raffles that are unbelievable, from, scratch-off tickets to wine baskets, everything. It's great. Tickets available at Bethel Park Library, EV True Value Hardware, and I guess you can use the QR code. We got Chance. Can you get a close-up of the QR code?
Good luck on that one.
So you can go on the TV. I'm experimenting on BP TV. Look at Chance,
He
baby.
nailed it. He nailed it.
Now you got to take a chance on the tickets. Pun intended. All right, that's our 2 new promos. And let me check to see if anybody else tuned in or made a comment.
I got a comment on YouTube for Big Mike.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Do you know Timothy Kessel?
I do. Good buddy of mine from high school.
Raging Roadie representing Rambler Nation. Let
Rambler
Russ
Nation,
cook.
BCCH
Right.
Ramblers, baby.
He's watching on
Maroon,
YouTube,
maroon
it
and white.
seems.
Hold it, your wife Diane's watching. She goes, Mike and Marco said there's a lot to talk about for tonight's show. Diane, they are correct.
Too much.
Your husband said there's too much for all of us to talk about it. Smoking Jim said it might be 2 hours. Stay tuned. We might do an extended after the show edition for 2 minutes. Luther Dupree's watching, founder of Steel City Sports World. Thank you for watching us. There's no disclaimer on Smoking Jim yet. Oh, wait. What's on your mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Oh, I threw it quick.
you got to see Levine. Hey, I got something for. Hey, congratulations! I didn't know this was Women's History Month. I got something. Women making history. The LSU South Carolina all-out women's brawl over the weekend. That made some history.
How about the winner?
Huh?
How about the winner made history?
Who won that? South Carolina?
Whoever won the brawl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, a man jumped in. He was the brother of one of the girls that got pushed and shoved, and they took him in handcuffs. They put him in jail. Yeah, so. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Thank you for the update.
I tell you what, I want to get one of them jerseys like Mike got because I'm a Penguin fan. I don't care what the record is. I go way back with the black and gold.
Disclaimer, he didn't know that the Penguins were founded in 1967 with blue jerseys. So that shows
something like you're wearing.
That
It's
shows
actually pretty close to that.
Yeah.
That shows that he can't go way back. And he's one of the nicest guys. He's my BFF. But he's so negative when teams are losing that he piles on and he says he bets against them every week until he loses, which is usually the next game.
Ha diddle diddle. Pittsburgh Steelers is right in the middle of the playoff race now. We finally got a quarterback. I tell you what, man. You know, Russell Wilson to come here for $1.2 million just opens up the doors and opportunities of everything else. I tell you what, this is the biggest free agent quarterback signing basically we had since 1958 when we bought the great Hall of Famer Bobby Lane here.
He brings this up all the time.
Listen.
He didn't drink with them because he don't drink.
Dangerous. I tell you what, this is what I like so much, and this is what made Big Ben so great. When you got a veteran quarterback, the number one, he'll be able to pick up on the offense very, very quickly. Number two, he'll be able to go out there, and if he sees something different in the defense, he can check off or audibilize, and that's going to help out big time. And the way he throws those big bombs, that'll keep the receivers healthy.
What? He'll fit in perfectly because we don't throw over the middle.
Yeah, he don't like in between the numbers.
You know what? I'm proud of you for using the word audibilize.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And lastly, it's already paid off bringing Russell Wilson in for only $1.2 million and only having $3 million in total in your quarterback room.
Yeah,
because
but who's the third stringer?
Because we were able to bring in
Who's three?
Patrick Queen, Queensberry Rules. I tell you what,
24 years old.
Patrick Queen is so fast. When he was at LSU, he ran a couple 4.4 40-yard dash times. He's very athletic, a 3-down middle linebacker. And here's the best thing. The best ability is availability. He's like Andy Russell, never been hurt in high school, college, or in the pros. And I tell you what, I like the signing.
How did we get him?
Yeah, we was able to get him. So, hey, we got him because we got money left over from Russell Wilson.
Well, I got to thank Smoking.
Dangerous!
I got to thank Smoking Jim. I disagreed with him. And some of it is the new quarterback had a special quarterback office. He didn't get along with others. Unlike Smoking Jim, he's never seen racism. He loves everybody. Russell Wilson is not like that. On every team, he left it a nightmare in Seattle. Denver, he couldn't get along with the egomaniac Sean Payton, and he's a quarterback coach. So I don't really hold it against them, and they were in a little bit of a disarray. And what do you do with a player that's like that? I go, let him room with Pickett and Deontay Johnson, and then bring the ace in the hole, a foursome for golf, have Pickens hang out with them. So they'll have their own little group that's all separate.
Ace of what?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. But no, that's how I see it. The only good thing about him is whether he's on the downside, which he is. He may have a Hall of Fame career with what he's done, but he threw 26 passes and TD passes in 14 games. Because they threw him off the team the last couple games. They put this out, and you read between the lines, folks. When they say they didn't want him to get hurt, what about the previous games they let him play? It was all about the money. Nick knows that I say that all the time. Just follow the money, and you see what they do. So I'm happy that he only threw 8 interceptions. Kenny Pickett's our franchise legend here. Had 13 TD passes and 13 interceptions in 24 games. Just look what Smoking Jim's pick, Russ, did in 26 TDs and 8 interceptions. If he does half of that, we'll be better than Kenny then. Thank you, Smoking Jim. All right, Nick VIP Callis, what's on your mind?
Well, I give enough talk about Russell Wilson whenever I do VIP time. But I do find it interesting.
Great tease, Nick. You're on fire.
Just to open up a bit, I think last week I said, forget about the quarterbacks, don't think about them because who knows what the reports are doing and or where they're going. And
how's that steak hosey?
Just counting.
Look at him. He bit a finger.
Oh, goodness gracious.
He did.
But just counting down from, the days leading up to it, the more reports were coming in, and then Russell Wilson's was, spending 6 hours in Pittsburgh on Friday. And then you kind of got the sense because the Steelers don't really waste time whenever they're doing these meetings. You really don't see that. If they're going to meet with somebody, it's going to be for, legitimate purposes. Now, they kind of tease when it comes to prospects, but if they're going to meet with a guy like Russell Wilson, they're gonna claw in there and try to grab him, and that's what seemed to happen there. So he'll be officially signed tomorrow around 4:00. So more on that later, though. I hate that football is kind of overshadowing a lot that has happened as well from the Penguins' standpoint to what is.
What do you mean? What happened with the Penguins?
Was really a mediocre trade for Jake Gensel. And then you have the Pirates who are hitting a lot of home runs.
Yes, sir.
And what's really shocking about that is as the Pirates hit home runs more, I feel like I'm more excited to watch the team in the regular season. We got another host on this show that does not value the long ball as much.
Girls still do. They
right.
value that long
Chicks
ball.
dig the long ball.
Yeah.
But, Henry Davis is mashing, and it seems that I didn't think he was going to be able to do well enough in what I was hearing. Made it seem like he was destined for the minors, and he actually may very well play himself into Major League Baseball with how well he's hitting, and I hope that's the case. I still don't think it's super likely, but we can hope, right? Spring eternal optimism, and then O'Neal Cruz is hitting home runs. I think he's on he had 2 the one day for those high velocity home runs, and then I think he hit one yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's exciting to look at. So to heck with football, and I hate that I'm going to dedicate my segment to one of the biggest deals that happened in NFL free agency, but also don't forget about the other sports. Maybe forget about the Penguins; they're pretty forgettable. But
oh my goodness, his opinions are running wild.
You know what I heard today too. I'm kind of all over the place. That's where my mind is. But Tyler Kennedy talked to us today on the Fan, and he was talking about
what a nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy. He's cool, but he said something along the lines of The Penguins aren't used to losing, so their response is to play like they're playing without much effort, and that to me is insane. Because I'm just whether you're winning or not, aren't you supposed to just do your best? So because they're not winning, they're just not motivated, and they're not motivated because they're not used to losing, and that I think is just. On one hand, it's okay, let's be grateful because we won 2 Stanley Cups in a row as with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but then. On the other hand, it's they got so used to all of that, and now they're one of the top goal scorers in the league is gone, and now we're just not going to play hard. It just, I don't love that answer. It just feels I get it a very little amount. Most of me is just what the heck? What are we doing? So that's what's on my mind. A lot going on.
I'll help you out, Nick. I have some wisdom here.
Sure.
I've seen it before.
Holy cow, wait a minute. Can I interrupt?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This is just from NFL.com. The Steelers are trading Deontay Johnson to the Panthers for cornerback Dante Jackson and a draft pick swap per Tom Pelissero.
Wow.
So that's big.
He played his way off the team.
Wow.
Brilliant, $18 million save.
I tried to start a trend on Twitter, hashtag move Deontay, and they have.
Good luck, Deontay. As much as he complained,
to the
as much as he complained about playing for the Steelers, now he's the worst team in the league.
He ain't get no touchdowns.
But that kind of
my goodness.
that could bolster the defense to get a cornerback in return.
Who's going to play receiver? This is a tough subject for another day, but who
We're
in the
just-
world
just
is going to
scrambling
play?
here.
You know what? We're going to
Receiver.
do an extended show no matter what. We got too much to talk about. Let me finish
My
my
wisdom-
Your wisdom, though, about
my
the
wisdom.
Penguins.
My wisdom to help you is when you have a team and people saying that, read between the lines. When don't you put 100% effort when you're playing for a team? When you're trying to get the number 1 draft pick in a lottery with the Penguins, look what they had with Mario. Look what they had with Sid. Wouldn't it be ironic if we get the number 1 pick? Not that sports are fixed.
You think management's trying to
Let me tell
shove
you,
them toward
100%. I've seen it before. Now, I'm not saying because I'm older. I got scars in watching, why am I watching Penguins when they suck? Oh, number 1 draft pick. So that'll put your mind at ease. You were relaxed before the show. I'm trying to get you relaxed in the middle of the show.
Well, yeah, a lot going on.
That's my wisdom. And I got a couple people here to shout out. Rick
Piscatelli, another guy from high school.
Shout out to Raging Roadie. Go Ramblers. Johnny Mariano's watching. David Joseph, former Pittsburgher, welcome aboard. Tuning in from Austin, Texas. My dad loves your show. Thanks, gentlemen. We salute you. Thank you. Johnny Mariano, got to say something. We hope he's, after he recovered from that procedure, a.k.a. Al Levine said surgery, he's still recovering. I don't know why. I know after my kidney transplant, I had to wait about a month and couldn't lift 5 pounds, but mine was only a major surgery. Great show, Al, Nick, and Smokin' and Mike. My friend Dave Paroline is tuning in tonight for the first time. Great. Paul Haley. Will Wilson get his own office or share one with Smokin' Jim's pal, Mike Tomlin? Yes, he will. I guarantee it. Did AB live off the training facilities in preseason? Yes. Peggy Rohde, hello, Al. Great show. Handsome panel. Let me add in with my son. No, she didn't say it. Fantastic technicians, of course. Watching from Rochester, New York, Nick and Peggy Rohde, our biggest fans in Rochester. Ann Harder, thanks for the nomination for Outstanding Citizen of the Year. Again, you're the best. She goes, there are rumors that 2 teams are looking for a trade with Sid, Toronto and Colorado. Don't believe it. He's already been on a Pittsburgh discount his whole career with his number, 8.7. He could have made more money with half the teams in the league. He wants to retire like his hero Mario did.
He's not getting traded.
That's what I put the kibosh to.
There you go.
Thanks for listening. Paul Haley, don't let the door hit y'all on the way out. Deontay Johnson. Yes, sir.
Woo!
Dan Bogan, there's a blast from the past. The Dreadlock DJ said, always top notch. We appreciate you, Dan. Hopefully you're healing up better, and I'm glad and honored that you, blessed that you survived cancer. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Ann Harder, one can only hope. No, they're not trading him, so there's no hope on that. So we'll carry on. Let's go to what's on your mind. Raging Road.
What isn't on my mind?
Okay, ding ding.
As if I didn't have enough. I'm putting you on notice, my man. Stop eating pizza. They need you to play receiver. Get in shape. Get down there. Switch to diet soda. And quit eating the pizza. We need you.
Look, he did shrink up to a smaller ginger ale.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe he'll be back to his Urkel weight. You'll see Urkel coming
shout out to you. You called it with Russell Wilson a couple weeks ago. I in a million years, I did not think that was going to happen.
We salute you.
And I'll tell you, I've warmed up to the idea. And let me tell you why they traded for him.
Uh-oh. Brody wisdom's coming out.
Because the phrase, and we've said it here, the phrase "the standard is the standard" became a punchline.
Mediocrity
became a punchline because the standard had become be around 500, get in the playoffs. And frankly, that was, let's face it, that was their philosophy, right? Because you can either, do your best to obviously you want to do your best. You don't try to be 500.
Right.
But when you're limited in the ways that they were because Roethlisberger was on the end of his career, this and that, all they wanted to do was position themselves to get into the playoffs.
He was a statue in the back.
Exactly. So, okay, now we've got Russell Wilson. I will say this. Well, first of all, let me finish that thought.
Yeah.
You even had the owner say, enough's enough. Patience is out. We got to win a playoff game. So what's the best way to do that? Get Russell Wilson. I agree with you. They're a playoff team now, probably going to win one. I will say this. I think that they're going to have their best quarterback play over the last probably 5 years, I'd say.
That, yeah.
Outside of Ben in his last year when he willed the team to fourth quarter wins just on the strength of will alone.
6 or 7 of them?
Yeah, I mean, those were some valiant efforts, but they're going to have some good, solid play. Russell Wilson, does he carry baggage? Can he be a diva? I don't know how true that is. But, again, winning cures everything, right?
Yeah,
so as long as he's getting the ball, and I've said it, sorry, Tim Kessel, I know the Bills are your team, but the Steelers had, outside of quarterback, the Steelers had a better roster than the Bills. I truly believe that. If you flip quarterbacks, the Steelers win that in a runaway. So now you've got a decent quarterback. All right, now you got a decent quarterback. It's pretty much, in my mind, Super Bowl or bust. Because guess what?
Whoa, you heard it here first.
He wins a playoff game.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he wants $30 million. The Steelers are not going to pay that because guess what? You got Pickett going into an option year. His fifth-year option.
Yeah.
Now what do you do? Okay? So, and then the opposite is if he completely goes to pot and now you put Pickett back in anyway. So what have you really done here? What you've really done is kind of just brought kind of the royal family media to Pittsburgh, right? It's like you're getting the eyes are on Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, the Steelers have been basically nationally irrelevant for a few years.
At least
now all of a sudden they're relevant again. So you got interest going in them. Let's hope we get Prince William and not Prince Harry.
Good point. Smoking
but,
Jim don't know what you're talking about, but he likes it.
But
you have to explain that one off air.
So we've got that going for us. Steelers got that going for them. I'll give them that. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. It's gonna be interesting. I hoped that Pickett would have come a lot further along than he did. He just hasn't. I get it. I think they're in a position now where they do have a very, very good team. If they were the Panthers, they're playing Pickett.
Right.
I think they have a team
with
that
Tepper,
is
they
pretty
only
good.
Play him once.
Right.
Tepper.
Yeah, but they've got a pretty good team. They've got a pretty good team.
Yeah,
I don't
deny that.
I think if you put a Super Bowl level quarterback, their Super Bowl team. Russ isn't that anymore. God bless him. But I do think it's going to be. Let's put it this way. I think we're actually just might see an NFL level offense.
Whoa.
I love it.
I don't want to go crazy here. But we might not stand and cheer every time they just get a first down. They may actually do some scoring. I'm not sure who's going to be the other wideout, but
don't
we'll worry about that later.
We're going to have 2 1,000-yard rushers in our backfield. If that doesn't help Wilson out.
It will. There's no doubt that it will. I mean, look, the Ravens brought in, Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but the Ravens can bring in all the backs they want. Lamar Jackson, a quarterback.
You told me.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. I mean, and this is why you predicted Justin Fields coming to the Steelers. Notice that no one wants Justin Fields. The Raiders are rolling the dice with Gardner Minshew instead.
I can't believe that.
Because Lamar Jackson has showed, and God bless him, he's a tremendous athlete, tremendous football player, but you can't win playoff games with his style. You can't do it. He has to sit in the pocket and pass the ball. He's shown he can't do it. So I'll be honest with you. I truly think that performance in the playoffs pretty much cemented the fact that, Justin Fields, we don't want that style of quarterback. We're not going to win. We're not going to win
Those are good points.
a championship with that. And the proof's in the pudding. The guy's still there. all of these teams that they thought were going to get Fields,
He was linked to the
not
Falcons.
so much anymore.
He was linked to the Falcons.
Falcons
and they
instead
spent $180 million
on Kirk Cousins.
You know what?
But like I said, I mean, look at these other teams. Anybody, right? You probably could get him for a flyer right now for nothing, next to nothing. And the Raiders got Gardner friggin' Minshew. They'd rather have him than Justin Fields. That's awesome. You know, so
you're making Rhodey's on fire. Great points. Hey, one thing I wanted to help you out with what they do next year. With if you say Russell does well, what they'll do is instead of giving him 1.2, they'll give him 5 to 10 million, because guess who pays the rest? So they'll up upfront money.
Maybe.
It's all about the money.
Yeah.
He's gambling.
But if somebody comes along and offers him 30, look at the Falcons.
No, it's dead money.
They just $100 million.
It's the salary cap, but they ain't got to pay Russell.
I thought they have to pay him.
But look, the Falcons just gave him Cousins $100 million. Even if they're still paying Russell Wilson next year,
that's what
somebody's going to
carry
swoop
on
in
with Cousins, because that's a point I want to bring up on mine. You were on fire there. That was great.
Well, one thing, don't forget Justin Fields. Another reason why he's still out there is Chicago. You got to trade with Chicago to get him, and teams ain't willing to give up a first-round draft.
No,
choice.
first. Give me a. Oh.
You're right.
I'm saying fifth.
Smoking Jim,
fifth
2
maybe.
weeks in a row. You know what? He's making the most sense on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
I'm a journalist.
You ain't a journalist. He writes columns, or he did, and he don't read books. He has shelves of books. He has 3 bedrooms of photos with sweeties on the wall. All right. Jane Leffler, awesome show. You guys are the best. We're egomaniacs. Thank you very much, Jane. We appreciate you. Chief says Sierra Wilson is Smoking Jim's newest sweetie.
Man.
Paul Haley. Queen, the Ravens linebacker, will help TJ in our defense.
Yes, sir.
24 years old and hungry. Clint Borgen, you must have missed it. We know about Deontay being traded to Carolina, so thanks for tuning in and telling us that. We understand there's a little time delay, so you just missed that. And Chief said Golden Quill winner.
Yes, sir.
Smoking Jim, do you believe that, Razor Rhodey? He won a Golden Quill for an article.
I didn't even know what the Golden Quill was.
I don't know what it is now. So
Okay.
You have to tell me after
It's
the
like
show.
a Pulitzer Prize for a writer.
Love it.
Yes.
Isn't the quill a bird?
Yeah, but they pull it out.
I pulled the feather out.
And if you read our...
That's got to be it, because the feather pens that they...
No, if you
rumored
understood
use.
the early Americana, that's before I was born, they used to take a bird and the quill, and they dip it in ink and write with a quill.
I didn't know that.
I'm just giving you
So
a
you
little
got
history.
a golden one of those.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Well, you know
Thank
why?
you.
They got gold paint. They just got to paint it. It's not real gold. They could use it. All right, on location.
You mean
with
they didn't
me.
go to the heavens for Smoking Jim to give him real gold?
Well, somebody went to the heavens. Look, we got Smoking Jim. We got him here. All right. What's on my mind? First, Saquon Barkley. He got about the same deal, but he went to the Eagles, and he got more guaranteed money. So did the Giants really want him, even though he was 80% of their offense, and they're not going anywhere? I like that move with Saquon going to the Eagles. It'll be nothing but going very well, and he's unbelievable still. So at least he's getting some money. Running backs aren't getting what they're worth. You got offensive linemen getting $20 million a year, $18 million a year. Dotson got a 3-year contract for $48 million.
Wow.
He was a guard that couldn't last here.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I saw that the other day, I go, why isn't Saquon getting $20 million?
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. Then there's the greatest quarterback in using the rules in NFL history, Kirk Cousins. Look what he's done with franchise tags. He ran out the money on every franchise deal, parlayed it into hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what? He had an Achilles injury. Aaron Rodgers missed the whole season. They're not talking about Cousins getting an illegal and a fake Achilles, are they? He's coming back.
That guy's going to make $450 million when it's all done.
I know. He just signed a $180 million contract. I had to say, I salute Kirk Cousins for working the system. Nick, what do I say?
Has he ever won a playoff game?
He won one playoff
in his
game.
career. Yeah.
And the Steelers got Wilson, who won a Super Bowl for $1.2 million.
Just imagine what these billionaire owners are doing, and they help make him a $500 million with just being like a journeyman quarterback. I salute him more than anybody. Nick, he's the epitome of all about the money. He's walking money. When it rains, it pours money. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. So we're going to go to Fiction and Fact in 10 seconds.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And don't forget, Mike, L, and Nick, that Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs, defensive lineman, 5 years, $158 million contract, which is crazy money to me. Like you said, running backs are underpaid.
What did he do in the Super Bowl? He won in the game.
Huh?
Did you watch Chris Jones?
Yeah, I got rid of him, yeah. I wouldn't pay him that kind of money.
You know what, Smoking Jim, I don't know if you know a lot about sports, but are they going for 3 in a row this year? Do you think they might have done it that way?
Yeah.
You got to think past, like you're playing those tiddlywinks that I beat you at. You got to play chess now.
I'd have got the cornerback Snead under contract with Jones. That's just me. Plus, he got a bad leg.
Oh, did Jones do anything during that game that helped them to win? Yes. How'd you miss that?
Well, I was losing money.
Were you?
I was losing money.
Were you doing your Stevie Wonder imitation? Yeah, the sunglasses
But I had
on?
North Carolina last week in my powder blue, and they won by about 30.
Yeah, but now you got the Yankees on, and they're not playing.
Me and Chance got the champions on, brother. But hey,
Al Levine, he looks much better than you.
Yeah,
friend.
well, he's a good-looking guy. Hey, Al Levine,
he has no smoke screen on.
Huh?
He has no smoke screen on like you.
I look better in Ebony magazine. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Disclaimer.
Is that still a magazine?
There's a
Jet magazine still out there.
There's a black man on the show, Smoking Jim Frazier, referencing black magazines and doesn't reflect any of our opinions on the show.
That's the most
BPTV or each one of us.
That's definitely a top 3 no term you've ever used on your show.
Nick, thanks you for confirming. This disclaimer is legit. Just for new people to the show, I've had the word disclaimer's been a laughing segment because it's so serious that he is a black gentleman that's not racist. How do I know? He's my best friend. But he says racist things, and he doesn't represent any of us here in Bethel Park, the studio, or the station. So you can carry on. That's like a double disclaimer.
Al Levine, everybody know that in 2014, Mike Tyson was here in Pittsburgh.
I met him. I got a picture of him.
I went to his hotel room, did a 5-page newspaper story on him.
Did you write it?
Mike Tyson, when he told me he went through $300 million before he filed bankruptcy with his new wife was in there. So, I mean, I tell you what.
Hold it. What's
Mike,
your point to that?
I've never seen a guy that stood for 3 or 4 hours and just signed autographs for free. And then the next day he'll look at people like, you don't know him, you know what I mean? Thank God there's prisons. But
Smoking Jim, do you ever think he was diagnosed with multiple personalities?
I'll tell you what, he caught a couple pigeons around me. He could catch a pigeon. But Al Levine, the talking machine, in July, he's fighting Jake Paul. And my prediction is that Mike Tyson at 57, my prediction is Jake Paul's going to knock him out. But Al Levine, the talking machine, if Mike Tyson, I think Jake Paul will get him in the 2nd or 3rd round. Mike Tyson in his prime, I think Jake Paul would have got him in 6. But anyhow, Al Levine, the talking machine. I think this is the greatest era of boxing for heavyweights of all time. Anthony Cassius Clay Joshua just knocked out Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds, El Levine, the talking machine. And this is a guy that this is the best UFC fighter, heavyweight of all time, went the distance and lost a split decision with Tyson Fury. But look at the size of these heavyweights today. Anthony Joshua, 6'6", 250. Ngannou, 272 pounds. Tyson Fury, 6'9", 285. Big Bang Zhang, the Chinese boxer, 6'6", 291.
Why do you look at me?
What would Jack Dempsey do at 187? Joe Louis at 198. The guy I love, Rocky Marciano, 188. Floyd Patterson, 188. Joe Frazier, 205. Muhammad Ali, 210. Evander Holyfield, 208.
How about Sugar Ray Robinson?
Well, he wasn't a heavyweight. But El Levine, the talking machine, this is the greatest era of heavyweights of all time. They would destroy those guys of yesteryear. And that's what's on my mind. Mike Tyson goes down to Jake Paul.
I say down goes Frazier. Johnny Mariano.
You didn't hear about that, though?
No, I did not.
That's Netflix trying to get in the sports industry.
Wow.
Yeah, July.
Johnny Mariano.
That's pretty pathetic if you ask me.
Smoking Jim, when you missed the Comic-Con in Monroeville last year, Mike Tyson was doing photos and autographs.
Wow.
I feel bad for that guy. That guy's really been taken advantage of. Losing $300 million. So many people took money from that guy.
Robin Gibbons.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Robin Gibbons' mother since they got
Of course not. She bought an island somewhere.
Did she? Robin Gibbons or the mom?
Both of them. They each got their own islands.
Okay.
From Tyson's money.
Money well
they took from him.
Smoking Jim, he didn't discriminate. All right, let's go to VIP time with Nicholas Callis. 10 seconds. Don't bet any money.
Mike Tyson may be pushing 60 with Jake Paul.
Whoa, you heard it. Thanks, James.
You're on.
Ooh, my turn.
Yeah, Nick.
All right. Not going to talk about boxing, but as teased, you'll get a bonus opinion as well. I am happy Deontay Johnson is gone, and that's because breaking news. We didn't know that I didn't know that when the show started, and I'm happy it happened. So bonus opinion
so
there.
are all of we.
Great. So we're all good. Okay.
We happy.
Now more on the Russell Wilson signing, because this is more, I think, controversial, and it's an interesting kind of controversial because I didn't think it was going to happen, and I didn't think it should happen, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't some deep, dark corner of my mind that isn't like thrilled and excited that this is happening. Just for the legacy that Russell Wilson has, that part of me goes, awesome! We don't have to worry, about Kenny Pickett doing stuff because at least we can have faith in Russell Wilson, who's been there and done that and can still clearly play. Played with a poor team in the Broncos for the previous couple years, but he as an individual seems like he can do something still. And with the Steelers team that we all love to have blind faith in all the time, it seems like on its face that it makes some sort of sense. For me, though, it doesn't make as much sense, not because Russell Wilson still can't play, but because what are the Steelers really doing here? Now part of me, again, I'm conflicted myself here, because part of me is like, the Steelers are doing things that they don't normally do. These are not your grandfather's Steelers. These are the modern Steelers. They fired a coach in the middle of the season, and now they're signing Russell Wilson, right? And they're not going to continue to take blind chances on a draft pick. And almost this Russell Wilson signing says, hey, we're sorry, we screwed up. We're going to take a chance on a guy more established. That really doesn't happen. They usually see their draft picks out and then move forward after the contract's out. So, on the other hand, though, what are we really saying about the Steelers when you go back to last offseason, and there was so much more excitement with that offseason as well, because they were signed Sam Malu, Patrick Peterson was highly anticipated, Allen Robinson was deemed as a good move, and all these moves were happening. And before that, I was clamoring with several other fans who said Steelers
need to tank a little more and get more weapons around Pickett and have a more younger approach to the organization. I told myself this season, I said, I'm not going to let myself have the same mentality where they sign a bunch of shiny guys or trade for a bunch of prize-ish players. And the Penguins, I'm the same way with them, which is why this is extra frustrating, because the Penguins seem to do the same thing, and I'm not going to fall into that trap again. And here we are now, a lot of fans falling into the trap just because it's Russell Wilson and the connection of his legacy and stuff is now going to play for the Steelers. I'm not for it, though, for that reason, because what are we doing if we're not going to really set the foundation? We're just going to continue to plug a bunch of big names and see what happens. It just, to me, that's why, it doesn't make that much sense. I mean, Pickett, I'm still going to garner and say he didn't get enough of a chance, but he certainly hasn't played well in the chances that he's had, and he's struggled with injury, and Al's going to choke on that comment. And I'm not, no, listen.
No comment.
Today, right now, here, I'll make you feel better. Today, right now,
Please.
Today, right now, who would I rather have starting for the Steelers? Russell Wilson. So you can calm down about that, right? If I had to pick between the two, that's who I'm going for. But from a developmental, structural standpoint, what is Russell Wilson really proving here? He's not going to come back to the Steelers if he plays well, and sure, they can cut him mid-season if he doesn't play well, but, what are we doing then in that case? It just doesn't seem like, unless they win the Super Bowl at this point, it's like, what does it really mean?
Super Bowl.
So it seems like the goal is let's just win a playoff game, which is great. They need to do that. But, then what does it mean? What does all of this mean? I'm going for a serious contender that can, built among players that are more young and vibrant than what they're doing here. That's the opinion. I'm going for more young. And Big Mike and I have talked about this, and we all seem to hold this opinion. Quarterbacks are a lot of luck. The 2021 quarterback draft class in the first round isn't looking great. That's been kind of hashed over since Mac Jones reportedly is going to be traded. So, that seemed like
surprise.
Mostly a disaster.
No surprise.
So, there's that element of it, too, which even if you draft a quarterback, high up there, are you really going to get the return? Or is that quarterback really going to pan out? You never really know. But what I can tell you right now is what I know for certain is that Russell Wilson, while he may be the best option of the quarterbacks they now have on the roster, what is this going to say for the future? Again, if they don't win the Super Bowl, what does it mean? He'll be gone, whether he played for better or for worse, and the Steelers are still going to have to figure out Pickett because he will be in his then fourth year of his contract. That third year seems really important for a guy so that you can decide whether you want to pick up that fifth-year option or not. So it's fine, and I'm not going to complain too much, but I'm also going to just be like, what are we doing? What is it really going to mean?
Thanks, Nick. We appreciate it. All right, we're running out of time. We got 6 minutes. You got 4, Rody.
All right, I'll go quick. All right, so listen, I usually talk to you guys whenever, but I'm going to look at the camera. I'm gonna be really serious here.
I'm offended now. This is
and I'm heartfelt, whatever the word is. I hope Penguins ownership and management sees this. Please trade Sidney Crosby. Please get this guy out of here. This team has had a collapse like I don't think I've ever seen in my entire life. It's one thing to make moves that they did in the offseason, but for it just didn't work out, and they basically all said, I'm not going to play anymore.
What do you think they're doing?
This last week was the most disgraceful hockey, the most disinterested bunch of people, even guys who are like marginal players are following
There's no effort.
No effort whatsoever.
Yeah. When do you see hockey
except with
players?
one guy. Except with one guy.
Sid.
And the Penguins are years away from being a contending team again. Yeah. And please, take anywhere but Philadelphia. Send him.
Hold it, Yager went there. We love him again.
Yeah, well, maybe
took
you
a
do.
little-
That's a whole different subject.
I like
But
Yager.
listen, send Sid somewhere. I'll buy the jersey wherever you send him. I'll buy the regional TV sports package. I'll follow him.
Whoa.
I don't hold it against the Penguins. They just need to clean house and get rid of it. Some things work, some things don't. Why would you make that guy sit here through that complete disaster of what the next 4 or 5 years are going to be here? It's that I'm sorry, he's done too much for this city. He's like the face of the NHL.
They've
The
disrespected
NHL's totally disrespected the guy.
That's been my thought. all
Totally
the time.
disrespected the guy. And I just think he deserves better. And it's not going to happen.
Right.
But I really,
talking to your
really,
fans out there. They appreciate it.
please, if anyone from Penguins management
appreciate
sees
this.
this, please do us all a favor. I'll still follow the Penguins. I'll even come to a couple games next
Whoa.
year. But trade them. Even though you're going to win 5 games the whole year, I'll come to several.
5 games.
But get Sid out of here. Trade him to Colorado. Send him out there with his buddy. Let him win with McKinnon. Let him win 3-4 more cups.
Whoa.
In their 30s, and just don't make this guy be in this. And again, it's because of just how heartless bums they have been in the last week. It's embarrassing. I've never seen anything like
How
it.
did the NHL disrespect him?
Basically
never
not
promoted
protecting him whatsoever, allowing the goons of the league to run roughshod on the guy, and basically because he's not French Canadian, and so he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. And for everything that guy's done for this league, I mean, look at Lemieux, called it a garage league. It was the same thing with him. He's like, he couldn't believe he retired early. He didn't want to play anymore. Only came back because he needed money. Let's face it.
Look what he parlayed that into.
Exactly. How about that?
What a brilliant business.
That was a pretty good business
Save
move
the
there.
Penguins.
Yeah. So anyway,
Nick.
that's what I got.
Hey, Mike, that's great. And I'll just second that. Crosby's the only guy at his age playing a 200-foot game.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he should be in the MVP competition, but they don't even mention his name. But where would the Penguins be without him?
Good point.
So, all right, we got to go on location. We're running out of time. I think we got a 2-minute warning here, so I'll be short and sweet and maybe make a couple comments. Let's go. In my book, so I'm good with that. On location, the Donnybrook is upon us. They sold out. Talked to Rob Tierney, gave me the lineup and everything. We have that graphic, Nick. I'll have to send it to you so you can do it with Michael. Michael Mariano's going out in the field on location. He's going to do our filming and VMix and live stream the Pittsburgh Sportsline channel and Facebook page, so we're honored to go there. They love us so much out there. I didn't tell them you're not going to be there. They'll miss you. They loved Nick last year. All the people that got us, Rich Donnelly, shout out to Rich, Rob Tierney, the Ireland Institute. They hired us. They can't wait to have us be there, so we're honored to be there. And it'll be a fun night. Come out to the Priory Hotel. Well, it's too late. They sold out, so that's all good. June 29th, don't forget Coliseum Combat Zone coming All-American Fieldhouse. It'll be a great night. We got all the production lined up. We're working on the fighters. We got matchmakers working on getting the fighters for us, and we're ready to roll with that. So get your tickets. Go to Coliseum Combat Zone. We'll update when we get ticket links. And thank you, Nick, because I got nowhere to look up for reinforcement. Please stay Joey strong.